Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video, and today we are here for F1 2021 My Team Career Mode, and today we have the 9th round of the championship season in Monza. But first of all, we kept Schwartzman, and second of all, there is a big announcement there from Fernando Alonso, who will be retiring at the end of season 1, which is absolutely incredible. I wonder who will get that seat, but here we go, Monza. I don't exactly like this track in this game, so let's jump right into qualifying. So we move on to my first attempt here in qualifying 1, round the Parabolica corner, and I'm going to understeer and we're going to oversteer at the same time, and we've done a 360. Somehow we did not end up in the wall, but that was a pretty cool 360. We can go into the pits and have another lap. We did have underbody damage, so that is what caused the spin. Meanwhile, here is a man who really does need to improve his performance here if he wants to keep the seat for next season. But now, we're going into my final run. I have set a lap time, but I think I can improve. We're up by 3/10. Will we be able to get into Q2 here in Italy? And if you look close enough, we were not able to make it, which is a bit of a shock. We were getting used to making it to Q2, but we're only P19 on the grid. And that just shows how much I do really struggle with Italy and the massive curbs. But now, let's see the full grid for the race.
Back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Verstappen, Sergio Perez and Ricciardo, Gasly, Leclerc, Sainz and Yuki Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Vettel, Esteban Ocon and Stroll, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, George Russell and Mick Schumacher, the owner driver, Schwartzman, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So it's a pretty normal looking grid there for the Italian Grand Prix. The two Mercs are at the front. Lando Norris is in P3 ahead of both of the Red Bull cars, and then there's Daniel Ricciardo. But now we are finishing the formation lap here and we're getting ready to go in Monza. It's going to be a nice long run into turn 1, so we need to make sure that we get a good start. We would likely jump Schumacher and hopefully George Russell if we can, but now we're revving up to 5 red lights for the Italian Grand Prix. The lights are here and they're out, and we are underway here for the Italian Grand Prix, and it's a decent start from me, except I'm being jumped there by Robert Schwartzman, who's on my right hand side, so I'm already down into P20. Now going into turn 1, I have to take my time. Robert will send it down the inside of multiple cars, and that's a wonderful start for my teammate. Meanwhile for me, I'm having to slowly make my way through turn 2, as we nearly made contact with Mick Schumacher there. Now, on the Curve de Grande, we are going wheel to wheel here through the whole straight. Mick Schumacher is just about ahead of me here, going into the chicane. I push him to the left hand side and he will send it on Kimi Raikkonen. What a move from Schumacher. Everyone is sending it around me here, and somehow he made the move stick. Meanwhile at the front, there is a 3-car battle for P3 while the Mercedes cars are getting away. Lando Norris now looks to go around the outside of Verstappen, and that is a lovely move, but can he get it done? We'll look to the minimap. It looks like he has, so he's up into P4 behind his teammate Ricciardo, who did a wonderful job. But now we were starting lap 2, and Perez and Leclerc are both in the pit lane. Horrific start for them two, who both got damage, I'm sure. That is the reason why they're pitting. But now Schumacher going wheel to wheel with Kimi Raikkonen. So maybe I can actually try and get a good exit and get near him. We're in the slipstream, and now we're going to think about putting to the left-hand side. We do tap him a little, as we're a little bit hesitant here. Going into the Della Rosa chicane, down the inside of Raikkonen and Schumacher. And that is a lovely move down the inside. We leave the room, and we're up into P14. And that is absolutely epic. I don't know how I made it work without having to use the curb. But now end of lap 2. and I think we have an Alpine of Fernando Alonso going into the pit lane. And now we're up into P13, Schwartzman's up into P11, and Stroll is in between us, and there's yellow flags behind here at the end of lap 3. While my teammate got overtaken by Stroll a lap ago on the main straight, and oh, Mick Schumacher! Mick Schumacher has an engine failure, and he was doing such a good job at the start there, and it's such a shame to see him out of the Grand Prix. Thankfully, it hasn't caused a safety car as we start lap 4. And now Robert Schwartzman looking to impress me here, going around the outside of Lance Stroll. Can he get the move done here through the chicane? Stroll will try and hang it on the outside line, and he does manage to, unfortunately. Good effort there from Schwartzman, knowing the pressure that he is under, not scoring a point yet. Also, knowing that I'm right behind him. It was a good attempt there from him, but now I'm going to have to try and push ahead of him. I'll go down the inside of him and Stroll. I outbrake myself. Stroll leaves me the room, and somehow we didn't go into the side of Stroll. I think we did make contact according to that warning over there, but we don't care. I don't think anyone got damaged. So we're up into P11 here, which is pretty insane. What a start from both of our cars, in fact. But now I'm looking to hold off Stroll. He's all over the back of me with the drag reduction system enabled. Down the inside goes the Aston Martin. I have to try and hold it round the outside, and it will turn to the inside, and I just about stay in P11. But now we are losing time to Ocon by fighting, and talking of fighting, there is a lot of that for P3, but not for the lead. It's like F1 2020. The Mercedes cars are getting away, and that is not good to see. I really do not enjoy that. We want a title fight this season, so stop winning, Mercedes. But there goes Stroll. We cannot defend this time around. We'll have to let him go. But now the main goal is to try and keep up with him, and hopefully he can take us to Ocon. And I also hope that my teammate Schwartzman can keep up with the pace of the Aston Martin and myself. All we got to do is stay in the DRS, which shouldn't be too difficult. So we're going to sit back and behind like in Belgium. Meanwhile, there's a big battle happening here. Verstappen looking for the double overtake. These three have been squabbling this entire time, and Ricciardo was able to stay in P3. Verstappen has to sit behind and try again later on. Meanwhile, we are not really gaining time on Ocon, and I'm getting quite impatient behind Lance Stroll. So we're going to get into the slipstream and the DRS. We'll move to the left-hand side going into the first chicane, and we're going to take things into our own hands. Round the outside into turn 1, and through turn 2, the outside will turn into the inside, and we're up into P11, a pretty simple maneuver there. Meanwhile, end of lap 7, and Pierre Gasly has gone into the pit lane, and now I realise I'm in trouble as I don't have much overtake available, and Stroll is in the slipstream and DRS. There's literally nothing I can do. I have to let him go. I could try and stick it on the outside line, but no, we're too far behind. Stroll reclaims what is now P10 now that the AlphaTauri pitted, but end of lap 8, and Pierre Gasly, he definitely should have a tyre advantage. Maybe he can close up to that top 3, but no one is really pitting in, so we're going to try and keep hunting down Lance Stroll. It would be quite early to make a pit stop. Meanwhile, there are yellow flags behind. Oh my goodness! We got a car upside down, and it's a Red Bull of Sergio Perez. He's binned it at Ascari, and that is a massive crash, and I won't be surprised if that will be a safety car. How on earth did he manage to go upside down? That is incredible. We do have a safety car here, so I'm going to fly straight into the pit lane. Schwartzman has also decided to pit in with me, so we're going to do a double stack, meaning he will be behind Kimi Raikkonen. Meanwhile, Stroll has decided to stay out, which is a very interesting maneuver. Will it gain him time to do an extra lap? I'm not entirely sure. But now that we're not behind the safety car yet, everyone can pit in, and look how busy the pit lane was. And Stroll will be the only car to stay out on the track. So he's ahead of one of the Mercedes, but unfortunately, he's not ahead of both of them. Just imagine how much of a game changer we would have had if Stroll took the lead of the Grand Prix. That would be simply incredible. But now, Stroll is literally a pit stop behind everyone. He's literally going to have to pit in again. So now I'm going to catch up to the safety car queue, and well, pretty much I'm pretty happy. On P12, we have another chance to get into the top 10. And also, even better, that gap we had to Ocon is completely destroyed. Wait a minute.
It looks like we might have an issue. Hang in there. We're attempting to manage it.
No. There's no way. That can't be possible. We're in the middle of a safety car. This cannot happen. Surely not. Surely, we can't retire now. We have such a good opportunity to get some points.
We can confirm that it's an issue with our engine.
Wait, what does that mean? Does that mean we're still in? I reckon that does mean we're still in. Thankfully, we have only an issue with our engine, but I think we'll have a severe lack of power, so that is a little bit concerning, but at least we have a damn chance to be in this Grand Prix.
When the field accelerates, remember, there is no overtaking until the green flags. Safety car in this lap.
Well, it does seem like a really bad time to restart while my engine is not even 100% power, I don't think. There has to be some sort of issue. Jeff said it himself, but now we will find out at the restart. We will be underway very shortly, so hopefully we don't lose too much time, because if we do, we're kind of in the mud. We're going to need to be very aggressive here. Otherwise, we're going to just end up losing the time that we could potentially gain on the restart. So now, we're about to end the safety car and we are underway again, and we timed it perfectly there with the restart. We're already alongside Pierre Gasly, but look at that. He was able to get ahead on the straight alone, and he'll be having a look down the inside of Ocon. What a send from Pierre Gasly. Meanwhile, I'll send it down the inside of Lando Norris. He decides to go onto the curb at turn 2, so I'm now up into P9. What a restart for me. But now it's about whether this engine can keep us in the top 10, and with those two AlphaTauri cars, Pierre just fully sent it on his teammate. What a move from him. Very brave maneuver there. I'm very impressed. But now, Lando Norris is really being held up by me. He dipped the wheel in the gravel, and now Vettel can try around the outside of him. Wheel to wheel. The two Merc-powered cars are going wheel to wheel through both Lesmos, and somehow Lando was able to stay ahead. And now we move on to the end of lap 12, and I'm just about trying to manage my engine here and trying to stay ahead, but I don't think I'll be ahead for long. Lando's already alongside and ahead of me there, and he goes off the track. A bit odd there from Lando, but he moves up into P8. A Stroll went into the pit lane. I could have a go at Lando, but I'm too far back, and besides, our car is much slower than that championship fighting McLaren, so we can only do nothing but let him go, because we'll be holding ourselves up if we fight him. But I think my engine has definitely got a lot more damage than I think, because now at the end of lap 13, Vettel is all over the back and he'll breeze me as well. There's literally nothing I can do on the straight. I could try and fight back on the outside line into turn 1, but again, the Aston Martin is quicker, and if I fight, I'm going to end up losing time. So I need to try and stay with him, but it's a lot more difficult than it looks. And now we're only in P10. So if we lose another position, we'll be out of the points. And that's exactly what's going to happen. DRS enabled, Kimi Raikkonen will fly through, and Esteban Ocon, who is behind Raikkonen, will also fly through. It's an absolute catastrophe for me. My engine has just got that much damage to it, I can't really defend. And now Ocon is going around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen. What a move from Esteban Ocon to steal the point away from Alfa Romeo. I'm going to try my best here and fight back on the Alfa Romeo here. I go to the outside. Can we actually make a move? Down the inside, no. We'll switch to the outside. Kimi Raikkonen gets it all wrong, and I get ahead, and what?
The underbody's taken a little damage. Watch out for it.
Are you kidding me? First of all, we have engine damage, and now we have underbody damage for literally going over the curb by literally such a tiny amount. I've been over the curb much more in the past and not received damage, but that tiny bit destroyed my underbody. What a joke. And at the end of lap 15, Kimi Raikkonen was able to overtake me on the main straight. And now lap 17, Giovinazzi will have a go at me now. I'm losing so much time. I managed to stay ahead, and Schwartzman jumps in around the outside at Ascari. What a brilliant move. And I'm now realizing, if I'm not able to help myself due to the lack of engine power, I may as well help my teammate. So I do lift off on the straight, and Schwartzman will get a nice good toe and some DRS. So let's hope that will help him. And now I'm going to try and hold up Giovinazzi to give Robert a bit of breathing room, so he'll go through on the straight. I'll let him go, but I will not let Giovinazzi overtake so easily. He does get ahead, but I'll brake later, and I'll use whatever I can to get ahead of the Alfa Romeo. And I'm just about in P13. Now this is a great opportunity for Schwartzman to try and push away and maybe think about catching Kimi Raikkonen. But look at that now, Charles Leclerc and Giovinazzi are nearly wheel to wheel. Gio goes on my inside, Leclerc on the inside too. 3 wide into the chicane, and thankfully I was able to know we were 3 wide, and I went very wide for both of them. Now Charles Leclerc will get through on the main straight. He goes off the track to overtake me. Will that result in a penalty? I think if you do that in this game, you will get a penalty. So we'll wait and see. Giovinazzi will get ahead. Fernando Alonso will also try to get ahead of me here, but I managed to stay ahead of the Alpine, while Leclerc stayed ahead of Gio. And oh, he actually did get a penalty. Charles Leclerc has a 5-second time penalty for overtaking off the track. As we now skip on to the start of lap 20, I am now behind Fernando Alonso, and I've hit the curb, and I nearly spun off the track, and that will allow Latifi to go through. And if you're behind Latifi, let's face it, there's definitely something wrong with the car, because how on earth have I lost so much time? Yet on the soft tyres we were doing fine. Maybe the hard tyres are a better race tyre. Meanwhile, talking of racing, Charles Leclerc is now caught up and overtaken my teammate, so the chances of points are really going down. Meanwhile, Kimi Raikkonen, oh no, he's lost the rear and he's gone into the barrier at the same place that Checo crashed out. Now Kimi Raikkonen has crashed out. And now we have another safety car, which is definitely brilliant. I can go into the pit lane and get a fresh set of soft tyres. Amazing news for me. Let's see the pit stop. Well, as per usual, it was an amazing pit stop from my team. I will be at the very back of the field at the end of lap 24. The safety car is a long way away, so hopefully we'll have time to catch it. But we should have enough time. The safety car has not even picked up nearly half of the field yet.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
No way, Michael, you're having a laugh. Michael, that was so not right to end the safety car when not even half of the field is actually caught up. Look at Schwartzman. He's nowhere near the safety car. So now we're racing, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty simple win for Lewis Hamilton. But literally 11 cars were actually in the train before the safety car ended. What a joke. We may as well skip over to our race winner. Lewis Hamilton will win the Italian Grand Prix. What a victory for Mercedes. They dominated this Grand Prix and led, I think, every lap. But how unfair is that? The safety car ended before we could catch up, and now we're stuck in P18. We may as well have not pitted at all, and now we're only going to come through for P18. What was that?
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Well, because of the fact that the podium didn't record, that is going to be the end of today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
They made use of the clear air today then, and didn't allow anyone to exploit the slipstream behind them. What a great win here at Monza. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
Quick look at how the driver standings have changed. Valtteri Bottas takes the top spot. He's our new Drivers' Championship leader after today's result. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Robert Schwartzman gets my vote today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Shine for golden.